Tonight on Q2, cars leading to crime.
Bullets and fists fly after 100 people converge on a gas station for an impromptu car meetup.
All of us are upset about it, but what do we do?
Plus, flames turn to homicide.
And there was fire everywhere.
Disturbing new details revealed by neighbors after a body is found in the ashes on Saturday morning.
And a super senior making a super impact on Billings trails for decades.
I was just always available, I guess.
The MTN 530 News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening and thanks for starting your week with us. I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Andrea. Lutz. Our top story tonight, a weekend car meetup turns chaotic. A crowd of around 100 people gathered after a night of cruising when fights broke out and shots were fired, hitting a vehicle and a gas pump.
Now one person is facing charges, and this isn't the first time these unofficial gatherings have led to problems. Now some nearby businesses are responding by stepping up security. Isabel Spartz has the latest.
Behind me is where that incident happened Friday night. A gun was shot off several times in an unofficial car meetup. Residents in the area say problems from these type of events have been ongoing and getting worse for some time.
Starting last summer, it's really gotten worse.
It's not an unusual scene.
We have a serious problem out here on the West End with the cars, the motorcycles. It starts on Friday night, goes through Sunday.
Drag races and unofficial car meetups are constant on the West End. Roads like Shiloh and King Avenue are prime racetracks.
I have to sleep at night on the weekends with earplugs.
Kim is a Billings resident who lives near King Avenue and wished to not use her last name. She saw a large group of cars congregating in the Kohl's parking lot Friday night before that 11 p.m. shooting at Town Pump.
It's becoming a common issue in Billings that we're well aware of as the police department.
Sergeant Stovall with the Billings Police Department says that these groups do not appear to be gang-related and are unassociated with official car clubs.
This is more unorganized, and it's a group of, younger 20s, early 30s, down to high school age kids that are out there, and they just, want to be the tough guy on the block.
Racing incidents have ramped up, and Stovall says they often end in fights and also citations.
We actually have a city ordinance of that parents can knowingly allow their kids out after curfew to be out doing these things unless it's for a legitimate reason.
It's even prompted some businesses in the Shiloh Commons area like Shields to take action, having BPD officers stay in the parking lots at night. But the costs add up and adds overtime to the department.
They don't want people to see people get hurt, right? And this behavior and this type of driving action is that's how it results.
A problem police are working on, and one residents like Kim would like to see solved.
Someone says, well, it happens everywhere else. I said, well, yeah, but you got to stop it. It's growing out here.
We ask that parents step in, these kids start taking a little bit more responsibility for what they're doing. Let's find things productive to do rather than, reckless situations like this.
In Billings, Isabel Spartz, MTN News.
And the town pump where the violence played out released this statement to us this afternoon.
They say, quote, "We appreciate the quick response from the Billings Police Department, the Yellowstone County Sheriff's Department, and the Billings Fire Department to our Shiloh and King Avenue West store. As the investigation continues, we will continue to cooperate and work with local law enforcement agencies."
Tonight, new details surrounding a Billings homicide investigation that started with a house fire and ended with the discovery of the body of a disabled man who lived there. The fire started on Jim Street on Saturday morning. Sheriff Mike Linder says detectives found the body and quickly pointed to foul play. Blue Creek Fire quickly extinguished the flames and preserved the crime scene, and a person of interest was arrested at the Love's truck stop in Hardin by the Montana Highway Patrol. The Meadowlark Trailer Park has been rocked by the fire and the death of a neighbor. Tonight, our Charlie Kleps takes us to that community, learning more about the details and hearing from residents.
And this is what is left of that trailer after a fire over the weekend left one man dead inside.
The flames were way high in the tree.
The reactions say it all.
Like his house was burning up really bad.
As residents in the Meadowlark Trailer Park reflect on a fire that destroyed this home Saturday morning, killing a man inside who neighbors say is disabled.
I lost my balance and stuff. It was horrifying. It made me sick.
Longtime resident Jean Schaff says it was shocking waking up to flames so close to her home.
The flames were touching the edges of that tree.
Another resident, Eric Snodgrass, asked not to be on camera, but shared the same concerns.
If it catches that tree, that it's just like the whole neighborhood could go down.
Both agreed the death, which Yellowstone County Sheriff Mike Linder described as suspicious, is frightening.
That trailer was smoking, and it was a very devastating feeling. You're here so long time, you get to know everybody.
Linder says his officers arrested 32-year-old Justin Hosey, facing charges of homicide, theft, arson, and tampering with evidence.
I've lived here all this time, and we've never had real violence of any sort.
At this time, law enforcement haven't said who the victim is, but his longtime neighbors say he was an amputee living in this community for years.
I've never had to deal with anything like this, living right amongst us. I mean, that part is scary.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Billings residents are being cautioned about a rise in carfentanil that could be circulating around the Magic City. This after a whopping 5,000 pills were seized coming from out of state. Carfentanil is 100 times more potent and deadly than fentanyl. The Montana Department of Justice says it's seeing an increased presence of the drug trafficked by Mexican drug cartels. The carfentanil was found in the form of blue M30 pills and powder and can come in several forms, including powder and blotter paper absorbed through the skin or accidentally inhaled. Billings residents are encouraged to have Narcan handy.
And good Monday evening, everyone. Taking a look at our satellite and radar composite. We have had lots of warmth today, as well as the last couple days over eastern Montana, much of northern Wyoming. But now the changes are already moving into our part of the world. Lots of clouds, lots of green on our radar as well, but not much rain hitting the ground around Park County, parts of Gallatin County, moving to Sweetgrass County too, but much better chances for rain are moving our direction and moving further to the north and northeast. We have some more thunderstorms approaching the Malta area right now, but this is just the very first part of a much larger storm moving our direction. So today, the last day of the 80s for quite some time in Billings, at a high of 84. I'll give you all details about the changes in a few minutes.
A Montana judge has agreed to temporarily place Anderson Towing back on the City of Billings Police Department's rotation list after a string of complaints accusing the company of overcharging for tows. We first reported back in March about a Bozeman hardware company filing a complaint against Anderson for being overcharged thousands of dollars after a crash. The city suspended Anderson from their rotation after the state's tow truck resolution complaint committee removed them from the highway patrol's rotation. Anderson attorneys agreed that the city violated the company's due process rights, and Judge Donald Malloy agreed, granting a preliminary injunction to place them back on the list pending final resolution of the case. Well, Anderson's compliance manager, Rob Lem, says, quote, "We're glad to be back in the rotation. If we would have had the chance to discuss with the city, it would have cleared things up and it wouldn't have gone this way."
The Yellowstone River Parks Association has worked to support access and use along the Yellowstone River for more than 30 years. Volunteers play a big part in that effort, something tonight's Super Senior has been doing for a long time.
Super Seniors is sponsored by Master Lube.
This is all named after Norm Shainthal.
Just south of Billings on the Yellowstone River sits Norm's Island, a 130-acre nature retreat with more than 2 miles of maintained trails for the public to use.
This got cut about 10 years ago.
It's a place where Don Worth has spent a lot of time over the years.
I was just always available, I guess.
Don has been volunteering for YRPA for more than 3 decades, since this place was in its very early stages of development.
We put a lot of trucks of gravel out here. It was all done by hand initially, shovels full at a time.
There wasn't much out here to begin with.
There were no trails, nothing developed, no access. Yeah, it didn't have a bridge till YRPA built it.
With his dog Rocky leading the way, Don is showing me around the island. Dogs are more than welcome here and can be off leash.
How many dogs you got today?
I think 9.
Oh, a little shortage on 3.
Yeah, but 9's enough today.
Isn't that nice to be able to have them run free.
Whether putting out doggy bags, picking up trash, or clearing trails, Don is still going strong at the age of 92. He served in the Army in the early 1950s as the Korean conflict came to an end, and then later became a geologist.
I was a geologist for BLM, a hard rock geologist. I worked with mining claims primarily. Back when, I was sort of proud to say that I worked with the BLM.
So it's not surprising that he loves being out here working in a natural setting.
I like the earth. I like trails. I like climbing mountains.
A guy who's always available, still making a difference. And if you'd like to nominate someone for this segment, you can always do so by clicking on the Super Seniors tab. It's right at the top of our website, ktvq.com.